Hello and welcome to Storytime with Aguyo. Our story today is Anansi and the Gentle Elephant. A long time ago, in a warm African forest full of trees and red soil, there lived many animals. Among them was a tiny spider whose name was Anansi. Anansi was clever and curious, but he was also afraid of anything big and new. So one bright morning, as the animals were playing, the ground began to shake. Thump, thump, thump. Anansi froze. Oh no, something big is coming. The small birds flew back to their nests in the trees. The rabbits ran and hid in the holes in the grass, and Anansi quickly crawled to hide behind a rock. And then out of the trees came the elephant. He was big, his ears were wide, and his feet were heavy. Anansi shivered in fear. He is so big and scary. But there was no reason to be scared of the elephant. He was just walking slowly and carefully and humming a little song. Prrrra para pa 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 pa. Prrrra para pa 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 pa. Poo pa pa para pa pa. Poo pa pa para pa pa. He was having so much fun. The animals just watched him pass as they hid in fear. When it was time to go have lunch, they all went looking for food. They had to cross a river to get to the other side of the forest for them to get food. But there was a problem. The bridge they used to cross the river had been carried away by the heavy rains. They stood by the river, looking sad and hungry. Then the elephant saw them, and he walked close to them. "Hi, friends," he said. "Why do you look so sad?" The animals were surprised. He had such a big body and a big voice, and yet he was so kind. The rabbit said, "We are so hungry. We want to cross the river and go to the other side and get food, but our bridge is broken." The elephant knelt down slowly and with careful steps went into the river. Because he was so big, he was still visible. He placed his feet like stones in the river. "Climb on," he told the other animals. One by one, the animals, including Anansi, crossed safely using the elephant's back. Anansi was shocked. The big animal did not shout. He did not stomp. He just helped. "Ha!" Anansi thought. "Maybe being big doesn't mean being scary." Later that day, the sun got so hot and the animals felt tired and thirsty. The water in the river was so dirty and warm. They could drink water from a well that was cold and sweet. But the well was so deep, too deep for the little animals to reach on their own. The elephant stepped forward. He lowered his trunk deep into the water, and using his trunk, he sucked up the cool water and sprayed it out. "Drink, my friends," he said. The water splashed and sparkled. The animals cheered and laughed. Anansi smiled wide. He had learned something else. Being big can be good and can help everyone. As the sun began to set, the animals gathered to play. They rolled around fruit like a ball, and they laughed as they chased behind it and threw it across the forest. They were having so much fun, and then suddenly Their ball rolled into a thorny bush. The little animals had to stop. Ha! It's gone. Our game is over, they said sadly. The elephant looked at the bush and then looked at the animals. He gently used his huge trunk to move the thorns aside. But instead of keeping the ball to himself, the elephant kicked it back to them with a gentle, playful push. Your turn, he laughed. To everyone's surprise, Elephant began to play too. He kicked gently, he laughed loudly, and always waited his turn. Anansi crawled onto the ball and laughed as they played together. At that moment, little Anansi was no longer afraid of the big elephant. Even though the elephant was big, he loved to play, he liked his friends, and he liked helping, just like them. Anansi had learnt that big doesn't mean scary. Big can be helpful. And no matter our size, we can play, learn, and have fun together. And so in the forest, the animals stopped judging each other by their size and started looking at what they loved instead. I hope you've enjoyed the story. Bye.